Everybody's here. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Wowza, we've got some awesome people in the chat already.
You are ready to go.
I love it so much. Oh my goodness. How is everybody? We're so happy you're here and to see your amazing little emojis.
I, I've missed you this week because I haven't had you after school for practice.
We've got some
I
great
haven't
people
seen
here.
a lot of you.
Hi Viv, hi Janet, hi Jasmine, hi Yasmin, hi Clara, hi Alexa. We get everybody.
Vivian,
Sweet. We love Vivian. We love all these guys. They're the best.
we are lost.
Okay, we have some exciting things to talk to you about today.
Yeah, we do.
So, do you want to start us off, Miss Valverde?
So, is this what we were talking about earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So, we are at the point where I think everyone who's on here right now, you have your thesis statement pretty solid. You've done a lot of research to help support that thesis statement. Now we need to start thinking about your story. What's the story you want to tell with your project? And that story needs to make your thesis make sense to anyone who looks at your project.
This is my favorite part because we're building now. We're actually writing scripts and practicing performance. We're making documentaries. So, the first thing in any story, hopefully your English teachers are teaching you, let's find out. When you go to write any story, scary or romance or any genre, what's the first thing you have to introduce to a story? Real or imaginary? What do you guys think? Hi,
What
Vanessa.
do you think? Can you tell
Hi,
us in
Ari.
chat? What's the first thing you need in your story?
If I'm going to tell you a story that matters to you, what's the first thing? What do we think?
Characters, we said.
Okay. So let's start with that.
Settings, starting points.
Yeah, what is a starting point though? Do I start with setting or characters? Because you're saying both, right? So can you start one without the other? For example, if I tell you the story and I say there was a young girl holding her father's hand, what do you imagine in your mind? There's a young girl holding her father's hand. What do you see? Where are you in time? Are you in 2024? Are you at the mall? Are you at her school is dropping her off to school? Are you at the beach? Where are you? If I just start, there's a an old man holding his daughter's hand. A garden. That's brilliant.
Garden. Oh.
A young girl holding her father's hand or his, whatever. We can have gender fluidity here.
Sure.
Hi, GJ. Hi, Julie. Hi, Candy. So the answer to that, what only one of you
Walking across the street.
Okay, good, Janice. Good. Walking across the street. So you've got in your head. Now, I could say, oh, you guys are all wrong. You got it completely wrong. Of course, it was an old man holding his daughter's hand as they got ready to board a train to Auschwitz. And they were Jews who'd been captured by Hitler. Why didn't you know that? Why didn't you know that that was the case? And I, as the author, can blame you, but it wasn't your fault. So you only have to work with what I tell you. I create the images. In documentary, Clara, this means the images you put are building where you want to be. So whether you start with characters or setting depends on whether you want to shock your audience or not. So a very clever way to do that was for me to create kind of a cozy, a father holds his daughter's hand. They're walking close together. She's, sat, and I can make it seem sweet and cozy. And then when you realize, oh my gosh, they're entering a death camp, you're like, oh, and then you want to know more. Or I could show you the setting and we could have the trains and the yelling guards and the dogs. And then I could show you the image of the little girl holding dad's hand. And then you would feel like, oh no, oh no, oh no. So it's a different feeling for your reader. So the most important question before you even pick your story is, how do you want us to feel? So when we come up to Dorothea Dix, what feelings are we trying to get our audience to feel? Clara, when you're talking about the pyramids and them being preserved, what's the feeling you want people to have when they're watching the documentary? Because we know our brain works first by feeling and connection through feelings, and then we build justifications. So let's talk about when you walk up, for example, Miss Valverde was helping one of our students today with an exhibit, and he was going to do whales, and we were all excited. And he was talking about having a whale in the center of his exhibit. And Miss Valverde was all excited, and she was listening. And then the mom goes, no, because you probably all pictured a cute little whale all ready to go, right? Which is what we had pictured.
We were like, oh, that's adorable.
The mom goes, no, it's a decaying whale that's dead and rotting. And both of us were like, oh, what? It's a decaying whale. And so already we were like, oh, what a different image. If you walk up to one of his projects and it's the blue ocean, it's a little family of whales. You're like, oh, the whales, they're so pretty. This is great. If you see a dead whale, you go, oh my God, what happened? And now, genius, I ask a question. So everybody, I want you to think about this. When you choose your story, your setting and your characters, what is the question you want your audience to ask? So for example, for Clara with the pyramids, do you want your audience to ask what will happen if we don't preserve them? Do you want your audience to ask, how did they get here? What question do you want us to ask that best supports your thesis?
She says, how can I help?
How can I help? So the beginning scene needs to reflect a destruction of the pyramids, an attack of the pyramids, scars on the pyramids, animals urinating on. We learned that horses and camels used to like urinate all around them, and that there were garbage all over. That hi Dorian.
Hey
so
Dorian.
That's a really powerful question. That now, when you build your script for your documentary, everything is leading to the final scene when your characters, at the very end, your audience, me, the people watching your documentary, goes, oh my God, how can I help? And maybe even Clara, how can I help now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so everybody jump in. Clara's not the only one. Tinker,
tell us, yeah.
Let's know.
We have books here.
Hi, Anthony. How are you? Good to see you, Anthony.
I think we have Reddit girls here. We have a lot of people here. Tell us, what's the question you want people to ask?
What do you want people to ask? We've been working on questions in class for this reason. I'm trying to get you to get deeper.
Oh, perfect.
All day today, I try to get them just to think.
That's hard work.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you don't give them answers and you just give them questions.
But I think once we know, like, what do we want out of our presentation, then our thesis and everything in our story builds that. So for Riot Girls, you know, maybe it's like, maybe you want us to ask the question, is this still going on? Or did they make a difference? Or maybe you want to ask Clara's question because it's kind of brilliant, Clara, which is, I mean, it is brilliant, not kind of.
How can I help?
Yeah, which is how can I help? Maybe you all want to build to the end, which is how can I help?
I mean, the topic kind of lends itself to that, right?
Mm-hmm. Rights and responsibilities. Yeah, I like that. She seems like she's picked that theme. I think the right word there is theme. Is that right? Because her topic would be pyramids, and then the theme would be rights and responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about how the theme itself.
Well, yeah, the topic for History Day, the theme for History Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why did they let the kids protest?
Right.
Okay.
Brilliant. Yeah, why do they control our ability to protest? I love that. Yeah, okay. How can I help is a good question. And I think we could all build to that. We can all just start with that being our conclusion. We can all say, yep, the theme for History Day is best served by us building towards how can I help?
Yeah.
So now I want you to think about the story. I want people to ask how I can help to make sure the mentally unwell don't feel unheard. Good. And Janice, we might even get more specific. so the mentally ill aren't abused, silenced, neglected. I think you can get more aggressive in your word
That's
choice.
more than unheard.
Yeah. Yeah, Vivian, why did they get suspended for simply trying to stop violence? Why? Why would a principal and like who's supposed to care about kids stop kids from doing a good thing? Yes, like that is, and the Supreme Court says exactly. Those kids were right. Those kids have a right to that. And I think you want us to feel that, like anger. So I kind of think that, Vivian, you're right on the brilliance of you want your audience at times to feel angry at the people who are stopping you from protesting. So first, Viv, I think you want them to feel sad that the war is going on. And I think that Mary Beth Tinker and her brother had an awakening, like, the war is going on, people are dying, I have to make a difference. And then when the principal won't let them make a difference, then I think you want that the audience to feel angry, the audience to feel upset, right? So that's the difference between tone and mood. So the mood for the audience is just like, we should be angry. And then do you want the kids to be angry? Do you think Mary Beth was angry, or do you think she was just disgusted or frustrated, or do you want to put all of that in there? Yeah, how can we make sure the mentally challenged aren't being silenced and pushed around? Exactly, Janet. And I think you don't want it to be a question. I think you want it to, maybe even in yours, we want to change it to a statement. I won't stand by and let the mentally ill be silenced and pushed around. Maybe in yours, you want no more, not on my watch, right? Maybe you want something strong like that. Like maybe Dorothea Dix group is like, if there is suffering, we will stand up for it. Just like when Dorothea Dix saw suffering with the mentally ill or the veterans who were wounded in the war, when she saw suffering, she did something. So she believed, if there is suffering here in front of me, I will do something. And like maybe that's what you want your audience to feel. You want them to feel inspired by Dorothea Dix's story. So when they see suffering in their life, they do something. And here's the thing about that, Janet. When your group pulls that off and people feel that, you're making a difference, because everyone who sees your performance goes into the world and thinks now about the disabled kid in their class, or about the homeless person they pass, or about the disabled veteran. And they think about what they can do to make a better world. And that means you are literally making the world like better just by your performance. If you nail that, you're making the world a better place. And so you can always be proud of what you're doing. So I really like that.
My exhibit kids, make sure that you're thinking about because we talked about feelings, like what emotions you want people to feel. So as they walk up to that project, what's going to make them stay? So what emotion are they feeling that makes them want to stay and look and see what you have? Because there's so many exhibit projects and you can just walk right by them if you don't feel attached to it. So how do you connect with your audience and make them feel something so that they want to know more about your topic?
I think that's such a good point, because in exhibits, it's just rows and rows and rows.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that turns, we're not doing that one, right? Because that one would make people stop.
We have one that's going to turn.
Okay. So, our singer girls turns, right, on the stage?
Oh, yeah, 2. We'll have 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how is our burning books going to go? So is Priscilla here today? I don't know if she is or not.
I don't know.
I didn't see her. Okay. So who do we have from exhibit to talk to?
I thought.
Joelle is here. So Joelle is doing.
Oh, Joelle's here. Okay.
Hi, Joelle. So Joelle is doing this really great thing called the Alien Sedition Acts. So you guys check this out. When this is a crazy story. When John Adams was president, he went to a tavern, which is to get dinner, and he was leaving. And taverns were like bars where they had dinner. And this drunk Irish guy was there, and he was mad at John Adams for being president. And so John Adams went out to his carriage, and the guy was going to fight him, and he stumbled out into the rain and pointed his gun at John Adams' carriage and says, "I'm going to shoot you in the ass," and then passes out. on his face in the middle of the rain, in the middle of the street. John Adams, who's president of our United States, gets so scared that he locks the guy in jail without a trial. Completely throws out the Constitution. Just locks him in jail because he threatened the president. Thomas Jefferson is like, you can't do that. We have a Bill of Rights. He has the right to a trial. And John Adams says, well, he threatened me. He threatened my life. I'm not going to have anything to do with that. So he's just stuck there. And he stayed there until Thomas Jefferson became president and gave him a trial. He was locked in a jail cell with no rights. And so he's going to talk about the right to a fair trial and how dictators stop that from happening. And so it starts out of this kind of funny, whimsical story that ends up in complete horror, because if every time somebody threatens somebody, they could just be thrown in jail without ever getting out, we're talking about a really sick society. And so I think that his is going to be really interesting. So thinking about that as the feelings of shock, like I was like a jail cell.
Yeah.
So when you walk by, I don't know if you like that idea. Hi, Gail. I don't know if you like that idea, Joel. I think like a jail cell would be really cool.
That's, yeah. Okay, so that's his focus now for that topic. Excellent. I love it.
And Gail, he's going to do Holocaust. Your dogs are like, let's go, Mom.
They went to go pick up food from a fundraiser. So
hi, Abby, we were just talking about
oh, there they are. There they are.
So we were just talking about how are you going to make them feel. So here's what I want you to do right now. We're going to take 5 minutes, and you can talk with your group in the chat, or you can just brainstorm. And I want you to think about how great stories make you feel things, and what are the feelings associated with your topic. So Gael, for example, is doing yes, absolutely, Joelle. In fact, you can do North Korea if you want, but I think the US is more interesting in the sense that people will be surprised it happened here.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be surprised by North Korea at all.
No, they know. But did you see Miss Valverde's face? She was kind of like, oh, whatever. And then when I said they locked him up without a trial, she went, what? Because people don't realize that happened in our country.
You assume that, yeah, you assume people are protected with the Bill of Rights.
Oh, we passed the Constitution. It's a done deal. So because we have the Constitution, we're safe when we weren't necessarily safe. This is really good. So Dorian, in the chat, shock factor. Yes, Joelle. Yes, that's the power of that. Is unless you wanted to have like a little bit about different countries and a different side of the board, that would be interesting. So now I want you to think about, if you're designing a board, what emotions you want them to feel, and then if you're giving a script, what emotions you want them to feel. So Vivian and Janice and Alexa, when you're doing your performance, what emotions do you want them to feel? You've got 10 minutes of a documentary. 10 minutes of a performance. You've got a full website. So I just want you to think. I love what she's talking. She already jumped in. Janet, as usual, beautiful. Frustration.
Mm-hmm.
I like this idea of us feeling angry or frustrated or upset, because I don't think you're going to get people to change what they're doing unless you have frustration. Joelle, I think we need shock. I think every single one of these projects needs shock and frustration. But should we leave them there? Should we give a few minutes to think about just to brainstorm emotions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to keep them at that one emotion.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I like that sadness.
Let's see.
So Peter, when you're like frustrated, and like Abby, I think does a really good job of this when she talks about Riot Girls, about how like frustrated those women were.
Mm-hmm.
But they were frustrated because they were sad. They were frustrated because they had been like seriously
used and mistreated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want sympathy and sadness at the same time at the end? Or do you want hope at the end? Leave them.
Yeah, you have to kind of, especially with the performances in the documentaries, like think of how the emotions are going to move as you go through, because you don't want them in the same place for all 10 minutes.
about Abby's piece on Riot Girls, and they're angry, but they're having fun and they're singing about it and they're shouting it out. And there's a form of like partying around. We went through this, but we won't define us. Use it to make us stronger.
They're like,
yeah,
they're like claiming their freedom from this terrible thing that happened to them.
I have no idea what Block Blast is, so I'm no help to anyone.
Okay, well, can it be just an emotional roller coaster? Happy, sad, hope, anger.
Yes. I think the best papers, the best performances, I think they'll feel that. And so when you're even exhibit, you're looking and you're like, what draws you in? Probably shock. And then what's the next thing you need to feel? Probably frustration. And Viv, if you think about it, my performances, you all shock. All three of you start with like, oh, what? And then we move into the story, and then we move into frustration and sadness. And then in the end, we move into hope, right? I love this, what she says, so excited for freedom, like the celebration of freedom. I really like that with this topic, this theme, the History Day theme. Yeah, I like this a lot. If you have an idea that you like, I think you can jump on and start writing your scripts, because now if you're like, okay, I know we want to start with shock and frustration. And then I know we want to tell the story about what happened, right? So I shocked you with Joelle's story about the president. And that's why I like the Alien and Sedition Acts, because you have this guy threatening to shoot the president. And it's shocking. And you're like, what? And you pay attention. And then because you pay attention, you hear, oh, and this drunk guy got locked in a jail for 3 years without a trial, without being able to go outside. Now you're like, well, that's not funny. So we started with kind of like, oh, that's kind of funny and weird, to like, wait, that seems like wrong, you know? And then you can get into the debate about both sides, which a good History Day shows. And then you can start to show how these great people like Riot Girls and Dorothea Dix and Carrie Nations, how do they grapple with all this horror that's coming at them so that they can keep their own hope going? How do they keep believing they can make a difference? Joelle, this is perfect. This is perfect. What kind of democracy does throw people in jail? Because of what they say, right? And that's what you want your audience to feel. You want them to look at your board and go, no, we did not do that. And then come over and be like, really? And then start reading the history. Okay, Ms. Valverde, I'm gonna have you lead us into a.
I think we need a work session, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So plays are doing their script. They're working on their script. Documentaries, same thing, right? Websites, exhibits, you're more visual. So think about in the sections or the pages of yours, what do you want the person who's looking at it to feel? What's that emotion that's guiding that whole panel or that whole section? Because that's going to determine what information you put in there. Okay, so 15 minutes. Is that right? We'll check back in at 7:39. And let's put some music on. right, everyone. That is 15 minutes. Get some good brainstorming in the chat. How did everyone? Does this look like we're still writing an opening monologue? There's a lot of ideas put out there. That's awesome.
So when we're doing this, documentaries, you can open your Canva and start moving in pictures that make you feel something, your primary source pictures or your clips. So if you're building a website or you're doing a documentary or a board, you can go and start hunting for quotes that make you feel that way, pictures that make you feel that way, and putting them in. If it's a documentary, put them right in Canva. We can move them around. Start adding quotes and pictures into your Canva. Build that documentary right now. And then, like Vanessa, work on that intro script right now. So, like, start building that monologue right now so I can help you with it. Because let's do this. Like, let's get these amazing stories out there.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan to me. Okay, let's see. Hitler's. Oh, yeah. Oh, that does. It makes me sick to my stomach, too.
I think it's a really good point. It's not a thesis because it's not an argument about rights. So what your argument would be, and notice here you're only focusing on the Jewish people, so that would include the Gypsy or the Roma population, the Polish population. He killed also gays. He killed people who were disabled. He was really hard on the LGBTQIA population. He killed anyone who had a mental illness or even people who were blind or physically disabled. He killed anyone of African descent, so he's very, very racist. So, Gael, my question to you is, why such a big event that everyone knows about, and then why pick the population everybody knows about instead of maybe a population people don't know about, like the Roma? I really like that idea. Just go down there with the rest of those sickos. Write that in your script before you lose it. It's brilliant. Dorothea Dix is doing some amazing brainstorming.
They are.
Yeah, I think Tinker versus Des Moines is too. You guys just got to get more in the chat, Tinker and Des Moines. Vanessa, keep going. Where does this go? Tell the story to me. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, so Gael, I want you to learn more because you're on the right topic, but I want you to find something that not everybody already knows. So
right. You want your project to stand out because there's going to be a million projects about the Nazis. There's like all these well-known historic events. Everybody's going to do them. So you can still talk about the Holocaust, but focus on a different group.
And I was just looking at Ari's comment about music and Abby. So I'm talking to Ari and Abby, but I'm talking to all of you. You can put music in everything. So we can have music in performance. We have music in website. We can have music in documentary. So why don't you start finding music that we're going to add and thinking about where we're going to put those musical beats or sound effects. Like, for example, when she's walking downstairs, will we have sound effects? I mean, it would be very easy for Dorothea Dix, for like Alexa or Jimena or Yuli to just like us to have sound effects in the background as she's walking down.
Just like clap boards together.
Or we can use electronics.
Mm-hmm.
So they can push it and we can actually put together electronic soundtrack of the light clicking on or off, trying to turn it on, and like boards. And like we can use sound effects and think about how powerful that would be to have those. You just wouldn't expect that. Like,
right. Yeah, documentaries can have music, but not just music. Think about that music because music has so much power in determining your mood. So if you want someone to feel a certain way as they're watching that part of your documentary, then be really careful about what music you put in. You don't want to put this like upbeat, happy stuff. If you want someone to feel emotional or kind of like sad or relaxed or whatever. So be careful with your music choice. Make sure that it matches the mood you're going for. And you can do more than one different piece. Okay, let's see. You can change the music chat's documentary. Yeah. I can show you how to do that so that it goes smooth. Okay, do we want to do another work session? It's like we're kind of on a roll right now. Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, I want you guys to you guys can just jump in your scripts and start typing lines with each other. So Viv and Vanessa, you're going to go into your script and start writing your script. Like go into your scripts, go into your actual documentaries and go start building. Find us something you're really excited. Like Clara, go find us images of people destroying the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
Find us like sounds of what that would be. Like start putting that in Canva. Dorian, you need to do the same thing. So Dorian, are you doing a website or are you doing, who on here is doing a website? Because if you're doing a website, you can open your website and start building now. Miss Valverde, I've got to get something for Joelle. So you talk to them for just a second, okay?
Okay, well, I think we're going to go into another work period. Documentary. Okay. And Dorian, you know how to go onto Canva and open that because you already have one started. Remember your documentary, you're going to be focusing on pictures and video. You don't really need a lot of words on the screen because they're going to hear those. So you don't want to distract from what you're saying. So any words that you put on the screen need to just support what you're saying and not distract from it. Okay, let's see. We'll do a shorter work period this time. I'm going to go for 10 minutes this time. And then we'll come back. It looks like everybody is doing a great job. So if you're still working on what the story is, then go ahead and keep doing that. If you want to start looking at music for especially documentary or start setting up your pieces in Canva for documentary, you can start working on that. We're going to go 10 minutes.
recording. The first 2 minutes are not free.
Last year it was 2.
We'll check the rules.
I'll check the rules though.
Okay. I might be wrong, exhibits. I think she's saying it's 2. I thought it was 3. It's 3 for website. I'm sure of that.
Last year it was 2, but I'll double check. I'll double check right now. Okay, everyone, that was the end. Yeah, clean clips of the songs would probably be better.
Well, only if we can find them. Like, I'm worried about
We can
that.
find them. I think we can. I think if we're very careful with what parts we clip.
But don't confuse what she's saying with like actually looking up clean clips, because you can do that. That's not what she's saying. So she's saying find primary source pieces of the song that are actually accessible to all age groups that we could show in front of her daughter. Not finding like do you know what I'm saying? Because I know where I'm from, they call them clean clips, and they're like they change the lyrics.
Right. Yeah, we want like the actual lyrics, no change in lyrics, just like the pieces that we could show anyone. Like you can show your 4-year-old sibling.
I don't know though, because how are they going to do that and get the shock value and also get what they're saying? If it's steeped in metaphor, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if there's like a metaphoric, you know, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not as familiar with the songs to know that, whether or not they have that. But it could even be where you have them like performing, and just the action of how they're performing says a lot too.
So Dorian's on Canva. Miss Valverde, this is a question for you. And getting started on his document, how does he add pictures to Canva? Do you think you could pull up a Canva and show people? Because then you could add it really fast.
Yeah, let me do that.
I know how to do the costume change, Alexa. That's what I'm asking. We just have to write. We have to write your play around the costume change, honey, because I'm gonna have to have a scene where you're off camera, so you can, or like off stage, so you can change. Oh, but you want to like, I don't know. I don't think so. Not Abraham. I'm thinking no to that. See, I agree with you, Abby. I agree. So we need to look in the rules and see if we can put a warning, because they have to push it. So if we put a
right, yeah, you could probably do that, because remember they told us to do that for the one project the last year, right? Put like a disclaimer. So
I agree, Abby. So I think we need to write that line, because I 100% agree with you that there's a point to that, and we don't want to take away from what they stand for, but we also don't want to offend anybody. So we got to try to find a ride that.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of a balance.
Ricky.
Okay, here, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so if you're on Canva, I'm just going to go to create design. So if I click on video here, if you haven't started a Canva, this is how you'll do it. And then you can go to video. I chose 1080p. That's pretty standard. So if I want to put a picture in, all you need to do is go to elements. So you can do it two ways. So first you can go to elements and see if they already have an image. So Dorian, you're doing like meat factories, right? So if they have videos sometimes. So if you want to put a video in, then I'll put this ground beef here. You just click and you drag it down. See how it turns purple at the bottom of the screen? Oh, wait, can you see that? Because my thing's in the way.
You said, yep, you can see it.
Okay. So, and then it puts it in the script. So, or in the video. So if you want to clip it, if you go to the edge of it, you get a little arrow and you can adjust the length of it. If you want to clip it like in the middle, you move your little cursor guy, then you right click, and then it comes here and you can split the page. So that's kind of how you manipulate a video. If you want to put a photo in.
See if you can find Riot Girls. That'd be fascinating.
Mm-hmm. What'd they say?
No, you try it right there.
Oh, yeah. So then if you want a video or a picture, you're going to do the same thing. Now, pictures are a little bit different, though, because you can have them like super short. So to change the length of time they're on the screen, you just drag this. And since it's a picture, it just stays still. So, I mean, it could be really long, but you probably don't want a picture there for more than 5 seconds. I think 5 is even pushing it. You want your pictures maybe closer to like 3. Otherwise, people are going to think it moves too slowly. Okay, so that answer your question?
Listen, I asked him, this is so cute. I asked him, I said, tell me one thing you want from me in the chat. So Alexa made my day. She went big. She's like, all I want from you, like, because she's like, it's fine, no worries. The only thing I want from you, Mrs. Stevens, is to go to nationals and win.
Yes, that's what we want.
So I'm going to try. And that's why we're talking costume changes.
The other way you can put a video or a picture in, also you can just copy paste. So if you find a picture online, you can copy it and then paste it in.
Sorry.
You can also upload. Go ahead.
I'm going to have you keep talking, but a lot of them are going off now.
Okay.
Everybody's getting talkies, so don't ask me for talkies. Ask me for something you need for History Day, okay? Okay, Dorian, keep listening.
Okay, so then Dorian, if you want to upload, like you have a picture on your phone or you have a picture somewhere else or video you downloaded, you just go to upload files and then it'll open that and you find it and then it will put it in here. So if you upload something, you have to click on uploads to insert it. But if you just want to do a general search, you just go to elements.
Julie, I want the full answer, please.
And sorry, Dorian, but these pictures are kind of grossing me out. I'm going to take them off. I can't.
Oh. And then I've got all my horror picture stuff there. Oh my God.
Okay.
I want to dress like cute. Oh, cute puffy dress. We're going to try to get you one.
A cute
Airplane sounds amazing.
dress.
I agree with that. They're telling me what they want.
A song to sing that's simple to sing. What time period?
Ulysses gave me my favorite answer. She's like, I want to kind of go to nationals, maybe.
I want to kind of go to nationals, maybe. I'm not sure.
We're going to try.
Cinna, what time period? What topic is that one? They want a song that's easy to sing. (1840s to 1900s).
Oh, we got to get that drink.
Oh, like a drinking song? Oh, that should be easy.
Oh, we got to find it, though. Okay,
Are you guys the work group I was working with?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are amazing. Thank you for all the hard work that you do. I appreciate you, every single one of you so much. This is really fun. I'm so excited for you guys all to build your exhibits and get your costumes. So I was talking to the principal today and she's like, we got to get them their costumes. So this is fun. So she's ready to start sewing. So you guys will have costumes really, really soon. Yes, Vivian, that is the kind of thing I want you to be asking me, Viv. That is the $100 question. I will definitely look at your script. Thank you. Good job. Everybody, thank you so much. Have an absolutely amazing, amazing night. You're incredible. You inspire me. Thank you for all your hard work. It's a pleasure to get to hang out with you. Have a great night.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Alexa, we're